This is a beat that I did yesterday. Some boom bap. Check it out. One thing I wanted to show you guys is making presets in Ableton. For example, let's take this synth that I did in Wavetable. It's like distorted, it has some iZotope trash. I'm gonna do something else with the synth. Let's throw a flanger on it. Let's throw a glue compressor on it. Let's throw a SketchCassette on it. Let's throw RC20 on it. There we go. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete the plugins I'm not using in the chain. We don't need the tuner. We're not using the utility. So now this is my chain. I made this in the session, but say I really like the way those chords sound and I wanna save that in the future. What you wanna do is click on one of them, hit Command A, then hit Command G. On PC, it's Control A and Control G. What I just did was I created a chain with all those effects. Now, what you can do is literally just hit save, and you can save it to your library. What I do is I have a folder that I drag all my presets into, and then you name it in a way so you remember in the future, like dope phasey chords. That's one way I use presets. Another example of this, say there's a preset that you really like in Omnisphere that you go to every time, but maybe you don't remember what it is. Say I really love that preset. Instead of having to open Omnisphere and find it every time, what you do is the same thing. Click on Omnisphere only, unless you have other effects in it, hit Command G, and if you have other effects, you can save it in this rack, and then just click Save. And what I would do is I would name it the exact name of the presets, replicants in this case, if I wanted to save that. The benefit of that is when you're working on a track, you can quickly load presets in that VST without having to open the VST and find the preset. So if there's like a Rhodes sound in Addictive keys, you don't have to click through all the piano sounds and find the Rhodes and then change the parameters. You can do all that and then save it in a rack. This is something that I do a lot, but I feel like it's overlooked by new people. And honestly, I didn't really start doing that until a couple years ago. I was the kind of person that would just go in a session and make everything right then and there. But these kind of workflow things really help with getting productive. If you're in a session and time is money and you need to get something done, having a collection of dozens of sounds to go to can be really helpful. Like for example, when I'm working on a new beat, I already know where all my drums are. I have a shortcut buddy on my master, so I can hit Shift 8 and that's drums that knock volume 8. It'll load up in a drum rack and I'm good to go. I feel like presets is such a game changer in Ableton. It's another thing in Ableton that just makes the workflow so good and so seamless. How many of you guys use that? Do you guys use presets a lot in Ableton, or is that something you don't use? How many of you guys are already familiar with that and already use it to its fullest? DECAP.